Welcome to Star TV News in our studio here in Sarakunda with me, Dada Cham. In the headlines tonight, President Barrow resolves a cabinet. Government signs contracts to ease movement of people and goods. Ministry of Health to embark on nationwide vaccination campaign. Gambian forces to conduct live firing exercise for recruitment. Sport Ministry integrated anti-doping platform. Gambia Football Federation delegations heads to Senegal ahead of AFCON qualifiers. On the international scene, UN chief asks for safe return conditions for Nigerians displaced. U.S. abortion crackdown, California seeks to be a sanctuary. Protecting the world's forest, discussions on best practices in South Korea. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Following the much-anticipated cabinet change of ministers, President Barrow has finally appointed his new line of ministers, including a new vice president. Maria Madam reports.
In what could be called as a norm in the Gambia, a president has to appoint a new cabinet immediately after he or she wins an election. However, things were different in President Barrow's case after being re-elected in the December 4th polls for a second term. The president delayed the appointment of a new cabinet until after the National Assembly elections. And since then, there has been speculation for the past months and weeks about the president changing his cabinet with predictions. And in what appears as a surprise to many, the Gambian leader on Wednesday evening assigned the Gambia's spokesman, Ibrahim Algis Sankare, to announce his new cabinet on GRTS.
The public is hereby informed that His Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, acting under Section 70, subsection 5A, and Section 71, subsection 4B of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, hereby relieves High Excellency, the Vice President, and all ministers in the Cabinet from their positions with immediate effect. His Excellency, the President, thanks them for their service to the nation and wishes them the best in their future endeavors. The public is further informed that His Excellency President Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, acting under Section 70, subsection 3, and Section 71, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, is pleased to make the following appointments to his cabinet with effect from Wednesday, 4th of May, 2022. 1. Vice President, Mr. Aliu Badara Diouf. 2. Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mr. Dauda A. Jallow.
According to the announcement, Badara Diouf is the new Vice President of the Gambia, and until his appointment, Diouf served as the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology. Sidi Keita is the new Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, thus replacing Mamboure Njie, and Minister Keita is also overseeing the Ministry of Trade until the appointment of a new minister. Ibrahim Silla is appointed as the new Minister of Works and will oversee the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy for now. President Barrow has split the Ministry of Information and Communication into two separate ministries, and Lamin Queen Jame is appointed as the Minister of Information. The Governor of LRR, Rohit John Manjang, is appointed as Minister of Environment, replacing Lamin Diba. The Governor of CRR, Abbas Sanyang, is also the new Minister of Land, Regional Government and Religious Affairs. Sering Modu Njie is the Minister of Defense, Siaka Sonko, Minister of Interior, Demba Sabali, Minister of Agriculture, Abdullah Job, Minister of Petroleum, Professor Per Gomez, Minister of Higher Education, and Musa Drame is the new Minister of Fisheries. Meanwhile, the following ministers retain their position in their various ministries: Hamad N. Keba, Minister of Tourism and Culture; Dauda A. Jallow, Minister of Justice; Fatu Kinte, Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare; Claudiana Cole, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education; Dr. Ahmad Lamin Samate, Minister of Health; and Mamadou Tangar remains the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Bakari Baji as Youth and Sports Minister. And as part of the public sector restructuring drive, President Barrow has appointed Mrs. Salimatu E.T. Toure as Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service, Modke Sise as Chief of Staff, and Babukar Ismaila Diouf as Minister in charge of Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery. Maria Madam reporting for Star TV News.
His Excellency President Adama Barrow announced the signing of a contract with a private company to bring ferries to the Gambia to ease the transportation of people and goods from Banjul to Barra. President Barrow made this statement on Monday at the State House. Hadi M. Jaju picks up the rest of that story.
Addressing concerns raised by different speakers at the State House, His Excellency President Adama Barrow announced that the government of the Gambia, in their commitment to develop the country, has signed a contract with a private company to bring ferries to the country to work with his government to ease the transportation of people and goods. President Barrow said his government deemed it necessary to sign this contract to generate income, as this company will invest over $54 million in this project. Barrow stated that this will create youth employment opportunities, and getting these ferries will make transportation of goods and services more efficient, and people will enjoy faster service from Banjul to Barra as well. He added that in his development plans, constructing a bridge from Banjul to Barra is one of his government's aims, as Banjul is small, but his government will increase the capital city. President Barrow called on the people to join him in his development agenda to transform the country. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Hadi M. Jaju.
In line with its commitment to the African Union target of vaccinating 60% of the continent's population by end of June 2022, the Ministry of Health, in collaboration with its partners, informs the general public in a statement released on Wednesday that it will embark on a countrywide vaccination campaign starting the 9th of May 2022 to 15th of May 2022. The campaign is also a fulfillment of the WHO global version of scaling the vaccination coverage in all countries to 40% by end of this year. More in this report.
According to the ministry, this mass immunization will take the form of setting up and distributing vaccination sites in all communities based on the size of settlements. Vaccination teams with social mobilizers will be deployed to each site. The team will be deployed to public places such as community bantabas, health facilities, schools, markets, crossing points, and any other strategic location in the communities. Currently, the country has 3 different types of vaccines, namely Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Sinopharm, all of which are safe and effective in preventing severe COVID-19 infections, hospitalization, and death. The Ministry of Health said the goal of this vaccination campaign is to vaccinate everybody, young and old people, including children aged 12 years above. It will target eligible population through vaccination and registration in each outlet. During the campaign, vaccination cards will be issued to any person that gets the jab. The card will serve as a vaccine passport, especially for people traveling to countries requiring proof of valid COVID-19 vaccine. Thus, the public is urged to keep the vaccination card safely. However, despite insignificant gains in the reduction of cases of COVID-19, the pandemic continues to be one of the biggest challenges in the last 2 years. Therefore, the Ministry of Health urges all to unite and overcome this devastating public health threat, as no one is safe until we are all safe. This campaign is an opportunity to achieve a life-saving dose of immunity against a dreadful disease if the required number of people are vaccinated within the stipulated period. In this regard, the ministry called on all within the age category to get vaccinated during the campaign. The Ministry of Health seeks the continuous support and cooperation of the general public in its efforts to contain COVID-19. Jacqueline Coley for Star TV News.
The Gambian Forces duly informed the public that it will conduct a live firing exercise to recruit intakes 37 on Thursday 5th to Saturday 7th May 2022 at the Tintaba Sutin in Fonyi. The public, especially residents of Tintaba, Kanfinda, Kanilai, and Buyam, are urged to not panic but conscious to avoid the designated shooting and training area on the above-mentioned dates. In quest to make the Gambia a state party to the International Convention Against Doping in Sports compliant, responsive with the International Convention Against Doping in Sport, the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, Honorable Bakari Y. Baji, on Thursday officially launched the Gambia National Anti-Doping Compliance Platform in his office in Banjul. Hadem Jaju has more.
The platform, which is chaired by Dr. Omar Jan, comprised of the following personalities: Dr. Omar Diagne, AfriMet and Africa Zone V Rado board member, Mr. Musa Mbai, Deputy Permanent Secretary Technical, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Dr. Mustafa Bitey, Director of Health Services, Ministry of Health, Mr. Yoronjai, Secretary General, GNOC and Director of Sports, UTG, Mr. Michael K. Mendy, Executive Director, National Sports Council, Mr. Adam Ajame, Chairman of the Athletes Committee, a female representative from the Lab Technician, Ministry of Health. It could be recalled that the 8th season of the Conference of Parties to the International Convention Against Doping in Sport, which was held at the UNESCO headquarters in Paris from 26 to 28 October 2021. The Conference of Parties elects Mr. Marcos Deis of the Dominican Republicans chairperson of the Conference of Parties, Hetes Patel of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and Northern Ireland as rapporteur of the Conference of Parties, the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China, the Republic of Senegal and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as vice chairpersons of the Conference of Parties. The Conference of Parties endorses the establishment of the national compliance platforms by each state party that strives for domestic coordination in line with Article 7 of the Convention and strongly encourages states parties having not done so to consider establishing one, as well as to designate a national focal point and request the Secretariat to continue offering guidance to state parties in the establishment of the national compliance platforms and to report to its 9th session on progress achieved. Speaking at the inauguration, Minister Baji hailed the members for their steadfastness in making sure this platform is formed. He said the platform is in line with the framework for strengthening the implementation of the International Convention Against Doping in Sport. Dr. Omar Diagne, chair of the platform, thanked the ministry for the trust bestowed on him to be part of the platform. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Hadi Mjaju.
Ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers in May, June and September, the Gambia Football Federation delegation heads to Senegal on Thursday to assist the stadium facilitated Stade Lat Dior in Thiès and the Abdoulaye Wade Stadium for it's possible to host the Gambia's qualifiers against South Sudan. Jacqueline Colley reports.
According to the Gambia Football Federation, the fact-finding mission to Senegal comprised of GFF officials and its Events Management Committee and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The team will hold meetings with the Senegalese Football Federation and the stadium management to look at ways of ensuring Gambian supporters travel to Senegal to watch the match. The mission is expected to submit a recommendation to the Gambia Football Federation and the Sports Ministry upon arrival in Banjul. The Ministry of Sports will then determine the choice of venue for the said qualifier match. However, some news sources have it that the Senegalese authorities, which received a similar request from 2 other countries, have approved Lat Dior Stadium in Thiès for the Gambian match. Meanwhile, the Confederation of African Football earlier in 2022 banned the country's independent stadium from hosting CAF A-type competition for failure to meet the required standard in a letter dated 16 February 2022. Since then, the Gambia has been playing its home matches away from home because it lacked the required standards of CAF to host matches. The Minister of Youth and Sports, Bakari Waibaji, however, revealed to Star TV that the Gambia is likely to play its home games in the AFCON 2023 qualifiers at the Independence Stadium in Bakau, but that of South Sudan is impossible because it's a closer date. The Gambia is hoping to make another appearance in the AFCON as they made their debut in 2021 and reached the quarterfinals and finished 6th out of the 24 countries that participated. Jacqueline Colley for Star TV News.
Those were the local stories. We will be back with the international news after this short break.
Superstar Entertainment presents xale bi nga xamne ñepp mom lañuy waxtane Viviane Chidid ci mëna sañsem Viviane Chidid ci mëna wayam Viviane Chidid live ci Gambia wayden Viviane takk na ay bagasam sañse na néna Gambia ma ngi ñew dal sen kaw 3 days exceptionnel 20th May 2022 21st May and 22nd May and the Superstar Entertainment Friday 20th May 2022 ñu jëm ci Penchib Hall Palace Hotel gala dina bu doy waar ñu lalal leen red carpet ngeen jagga jagari wala seen sañse dugg jàkkaarloo Viviane Chidid mu wayal leen fecculoo leen ba ngeen kontaan featuring Jaliba Kouaté and the Kumari Band Jali Noya individual tickets $3,500 for table bookings please call 226-9162 305-6685 66-00052 737-7220 967-2551 Viviane Chidid ak lu bees Saturday 21st May 2022 live to Q City Grand Danse ak Viviane Chidid and Seck Mor Wali Osking Abu and Fafa Nobles Tinjai tickets $700 VIP $1,500 Sunday 22nd May 2022 ñu delluwaat ci Q City ci kit show bu doy waar Viviane fas yéene dajale xale yi di leen wayal ba ñu kontaan special guest attaque mi nga xam ne xale yi ñoo ko tànnal seen bopp attaque ak Viviane ci benn plateforme Sunday 22nd May 2022 ci Q City kit show bu exceptionnel featuring Ñanco Bom Ambiance Mor Wali ci live band bu doy waar Tinjai Hosking Jali Noya and many more tickets bu xale yi $300 mag ñi ñu laaj leen $600 Viviane Chidid ci Gambia ci ñetti fan ñu doy waar mais Viviane lan nga dencal waa Gambia
góor ñi pare leen sama xarit yi pare leen jigéen ñi yéen xam nga sañse rek ngeen di def maa ngi ñëw nag indi samay robe samay femme samay folaale musique yu bees sañse yu bees fecc yu bees Gambia maa ngi ñëw tal seen kaw love you
par le sponsor by official the biggest Sharina Couture and Baobab Holiday.
In a country always thirsty for more, a team of superheroes with special powers unite to redefine the way we are connected. Big Barbara Mbagasi steps up your communication with the TOK service, giving you 1,000 minutes of talk time to one special person for $150 is only, valid for 1 month. Enjoy your talk time. Type SUB and send by SMS to 135 to activate the TOK service. AfriCell got office with the power to change the world. AfriCell is setting trends once again. I'm sure you still love WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Viber. Your favorite GSM operator, AfriCell, knows this. That's why you can now enjoy more at the same price. Activate the social media bundle and be online for 24 hours for $10 is only.
Hello! Activate the social media bundle for $10 is only and receive 40 megabytes.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Life's journey is not always as smooth as we want it to be. Unforeseen tragedies such as accidents and disasters can and do happen. Paying out of your own pocket for costly damages can be a huge financial struggle and a setback for you and your businesses. Worry no more. Takaful Gambia Limited, the first Islamic and among leading insurance companies in the Gambia, will cover the cost of your claims and put you back to the position you were before the loss. Takaful Gambia Limited is currently sharing over $7 million to its esteemed customers for the year ended 2019-2020, among its customers who have not made claims at the end of the year. Takaful Gambia Limited, caring and sharing.
Welcome back after that commercial break. If you're just tuning in, this is Star TV News from our studio here in Serekunda. And now the news in the international scenes. United Nations Secretary General Antonio has called for the safe and dignified return of people displaced by conflict in northwest Nigeria as local authorities close camps and urge people to go back to their communities. More than 40,000 people have been killed and some 2.2 million people displaced by more than a decade of fighting in the region between the military and Boko Haram and its offshoot Islamic State with African province. During a Tuesday visit to a camp for displaced people in Borno, a state capital, the birthplace of Boko Haram, Guterres praised the local governor's development efforts. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Hacker reports.
In Nigeria's Borno state, the UN Secretary General receives a rock star's welcome from hundreds of displaced people. They fled attacks from the armed group Boko Haram. Off camera, he spoke with former Boko Haram fighters, many of them teenagers. They have now laid down their arms as part of a rehabilitation program.
Appeal strongly to the international community to understand Borno as a state of hope, to support humanitarian action in Borno, but to recognize the enormous challenges that Borno faces with climate change, with still Boko Haram active, even if weakened, and to invest in the Borno of hope.
Guterres met Nigeria's President, Muhammadu Buhari, to discuss the fallout of the Ukraine-Russia conflict. The UN estimates 250 million people could fall into extreme poverty by the end of the year, many of them in Africa. Prices of basic goods are rocketing. Governments in the region fear a looming food and energy crisis.
When the entire global attention is focused on the unfortunate situation in Ukraine, we in this region are feeling already that the world is forgetting about us. There can be no better assurance that the world is with us as we confront extremist terrorist organizations, hunger, and the enormous problems of dealing with millions of displaced people than this important visit.
Earlier, Guterres was in Niger, where he met Malian refugees fleeing attacks from armed groups linked to ISIL and Al-Qaeda. In Senegal, he discussed with the chair of the African Union, President Macky Sall, ways to unlock funds to tackle climate change. Droughts and extreme weather is fueling conflict in the Sahel. During his visit, he also sought to draw attention to the people of West Africa, who, he says, are too often forgotten in the face of growing instability and looming crisis. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera.
Advocates in California are seeking to transform the U.S. state into an abortion heaven, as millions of people across the United States may soon have to travel thousands of kilometers in search of care. Governor Newsom on Wednesday, May 4th, pledged that a state constitutional amendment protecting the reproductive rights is in the work, while resounding fear that with the overturning of Roe, all the rights collected from the U.S. Constitution may be at stake. More with Al Jazeera.
California's governor is in a fighting mood.
I think folks should really be pissed off at this moment.
Gavin Newsom says California will be a sanctuary state for women seeking abortions from around the country.
We will not be defeated. We will stand tall, we will stand firm, and we will affirm the currently constitutionally protected rights of women and girls.
Protesters gathered in Los Angeles and other cities around the state. Newsom says he will propose an abortion rights amendment to the state constitution for a statewide vote in November.
We look forward to going in front of the voters, affirming this constitutional right in our state, in the Constitution, not just statute, because we now recognize the vulnerability of the moment we're living in.
California has the least restricted access to abortion in the U.S. It covers the cost of the procedure for low-income women and requires private insurance to pay for it. Newsom has suggested that state funds may be used to help women in anti-abortion states pay for travel to California. California has more abortion providers than any other state. But that network is likely to come under pressure as the number of women traveling to California to undergo the procedure is likely to increase dramatically.
We anticipate substantially more people coming to California and to Los Angeles. We've been working with our hospital partners, with a variety of partners across Los Angeles, across the state, in addition to our legislative and gubernatorial leaders, and really are doing all that we can to anticipate this moment.
Governors of other states where abortion will remain legal no matter what the Supreme Court decides are also speaking out.
The message to women all across this country is that New York, this state of New York, will always be there for anyone who needs reproductive health care, including an abortion.
Let me be clear. No matter what atrocious opinion the Supreme Court officially rolls out this summer in regards to Roe v. Wade, abortion is safe and legal in Illinois.
A country already severely split over politics and cultural differences, now on the verge of an even deeper divide. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Los Angeles.
The World Forestry Congress is bringing together leaders in the field to discuss how to tackle global warming in South Korea. More in the report.
It's a gathering that brings together thousands of experts on forests, meeting after a one-year delay because of the pandemic. Organisers say that's a timely reminder of how humanity and nature are so interconnected, and reiterate the importance of healthy forests to limit global warming.
Forests are absolutely essential to climate stability. If we have any hope of staying below 1.5 degrees warming, we need forests. They're sinks for carbon, so they suck carbon out of the atmosphere, and all of the scenarios, they all have forests in there as part of their models that bring that temperature down.
The host, South Korea, offers important lessons on forest management. It stripped much of its wooded hillsides in the first half of the last century and during the Korean War, but then embarked on an ambitious reforesting program. The amount of land that's covered by forests has roughly doubled to more than 60% in the past 6 decades. That period's also seen South Korea transform its economy into an advanced one, proving it seems that economic progress and good forestry management can and do go hand in hand. In contrast, the mountains of North Korea have been relatively stripped of trees after years of economic hardship. It means bigger summer storms and floods because of climate change inflict more damage. And a changing climate is also causing more damaging forest fires in South Korea.
This year, we had the largest ever wildfire that burned continuously for 213 hours, and that was made worse by global warming. So we need to improve our system for forestry disaster management.
Another indicator of a changing climate, the cherry blossom season, which has just ended on the peninsula, comes earlier each year. A visual reminder of the delicate and shifting balance between trees and the environment. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Seoul.
And before we end the news, a recap of the main headlines. President Barrow resolves a cabinet. Government signs contracts to ease movement of people and goods. Ministry of Health to embark on nationwide vaccination campaign. Gambia forces to conduct live firing exercise for recruitment. Sport Ministry integrated anti-doping platform. Gambia Football Federation delegations heads to Senegal ahead of AFCON qualifiers. On the international scene, UN chief asks for safe return conditions for Nigerians displaced. U.S. abortion crackdown, California seeks to be a sanctuary. Protecting the world's forest, discussions on best practices in South Korea. That's all for this edition of the news. Thank you for watching and join us for tomorrow's news. Keep watching.